Hello, my loves. It is time for reading today. I hope everybody had a wonderfully fantastic and restful long weekend. You had Friday off. You had basically a lot of Thursday. You didn't have much to do on Thursday. And then on Monday, you had Monday off. So I really hope that you enjoyed that and are ready to get back to work. Today, we are going to review what plot is, and you're going to actually do something a little bit different for your activity. And I think you're really going to like it. But first, let's review over plot. I want you to think back to all the lessons that I have taught you over plot. We did plot with drama. We did plot with frindle. And plot is the basic sequence of events in a story or a text. So plot, we would start off, the story is going to introduce you the characters and the setting. And then it's going to show you the rising action. And that is the events that lead you to the climax, which is the problem. And then you have your falling action, and those are the events that happen after your climax or your turning point in the story that lead you to your resolution. And so this reminds me of like a roller coaster. So your book starts out just introducing you with characters, and then it's like suspenseful, leading you up to the turning point in the story, and then it plummets down to your resolution. So today we are going to read together a passage, and we're going to practice finding the plot. So what I have done for you is I have made this nice little graphic organizer that we are going to fill out, and it gives you so much more room than just drawing it yourself. So you're going to have your exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So today for your assignment, I'm actually not going to make you do a book. You're actually going to do a Pixar short film, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's practice finding plot in a passage together. So we are going to read this passage. It's called The Robotics Guy, and we are going to try, as we're reading, we're going to find the exposition and the climax together, and maybe the resolution, and then we'll fill in the rising action and the falling action after we finish. So let's go ahead and let's read. Our whole family went to the middle school robotics fair on Saturday. My big brother Adam spent weeks building a robotic lizard that vibrates when you place it in the sunlight. The lizard then stores up the energy from light, converts it into motion, and moves. Listening to my brother explain his robot, I felt so proud. Afterwards, when we were getting ready to go home, some of the kids and their parents came over to congratulate Adam. To my surprise, Daniel brought his family over to meet us. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, shook hands with my parents. So they are in, for our exposition, we're going to say Adam. That's the name of the man who made the lizard and his family. And then we have to say the characters, and we also have to say the setting. So Adam and his family are at a science fair. Okay, so now as I continue reading, I'm going to try and figure out what the climax is. I'm going to skip over rising action for now, and I'm going to try to figure out what the climax is. You must be so proud to have an intelligent son, said Mrs. Johnson. While the grown-ups were talking, Daniel's brother Mark came over. Well, the intelligent and amazing Adam, he said to Adam. I hear you're an Einstein, the robotics guy, he said, using air quotes. Was Mark being sarcastic? It didn't sound like a compliment. Adam replied, looking at his feet. I work really hard. That's all. Mark's lips turned into a small smile. Yeah, sure. Hey, soccer tryouts are next week. Are you going to try out? He looked as sly as a fox. Adam shook his head. No, I gave up soccer to focus more on robotics. Mark started to laugh and tried to cover his mouth with his hands to try to hide it. Adam shyly looked up from his feet. Laugh if you want, but I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. Wow, Mark muttered quietly, shaking his head as he walked away. After we got home that afternoon, I sat next to Adam, who was reading a book on the sofa. I sat there for a moment, waiting to see if Adam would say anything. I didn't know if he felt like talking or not. Hey, he said, closing his book to look at me. I wanted to tell him he did a great job at the robotics fair, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to say. I felt my brows furrow as I thought. Hey, would you like to see how the lizard moves in this light? Adam asked with a quiet smile. I smiled back. Maybe I didn't need to say anything at all. Yeah, I would really love that, he replied. Okay, so right here, and I'm just going to highlight it like this, is where we figured out our exposition. I would say right about here is where we found our climax, and then our resolution was right about here. So, what was the climax, the problem, the turning point in the story? What would you say? I would say it is when Mark made fun of Adam for liking robotics. That is what I would say would be our problem or our turning point in this story. What do you think was our resolution? How did this story end? Adam and his brother. Adam and his brother spent time together playing with the lizard, is what I'm going to say. So that's what I like to do first. I like to go ahead and do the beginning, middle, end of the story. Now, once I have this filled out, I can go through and figure out what part of this was my rising action and what part was my falling action. So what led up to Mark making fun of Adam for liking robotics? Well, what happened was Mr. and Mrs. Johnson came to talk to Adam's parents and congratulate them. Because Mr. Johnson is Mark's parents. So when they came over and talked to Adam's parents, that's when Mark came over to talk to Adam. So then when Mark came over, he made fun of Adam for liking robotics. So then once he made fun of Adam, what happened? What did Adam do? Adam stood up for himself. Y'all remember that? He said, I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. Adam stood up for himself, and Mark left him alone. And then in the end of the story, Adam and his brothers spent some time together playing with the lizard. So that's how I figure out the plot. I start with the very beginning, the exposition. I read through the whole story and find my climax and resolution. And then I figure out, okay, what led to that problem? What was leading me to the problem? And then what was leading me to the resolution? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about what your assignment is for today. Down below, I have posted the Pixar short film called Hey Dear. You're going to watch the video of that Pixar short film called Hey Dear, and you're going to give me the plot of that Pixar short film. So here's what I would do. I would watch it one time through, and I would tell me the exposition, climax, resolution. Then I might watch it one more time to make sure that I got those elements correct. And then I'd plug in my rising action and my falling action. Now, this is the third time we have done plot. So you should be able to do this one by yourself. And you're not having to read anything. You are just watching the video down below. And then you're going to plug in your plot elements based on that Pixar short film. I think it's going to be quite fun. I think you're going to like it a whole lot. All right. So again, watch the video, Hey Dear. Fill in exposition, climax, resolution. Watch it one more time and then come back and do rising action and falling action. All right, guys, I love y'all so much. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.